Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. Martin Luther King Jr., a name equivalent with trust boldness and the battle for social equality carried on with a day-to-day existence set apart by wins and preliminaries. Yet even many years later, inquiries remain unanswered what truly occurred in Memphis right then and there in 1960. 8 were there, powers working behind the scenes to quietness him always. In this video, we will reveal the told sections of Martin Luther ruler Jor's life, taking you past the discourses. What's more, into the shadows of history. We'll investigate the neglected house attached to his venture, the debates encompassing his demise, and the genuine proportion of his total assets in money-related terms, as well as in the unfathomable effect he left on mankind. Martin Luther King Jr., an American Baptist minister, and dissident and philanthropic, was a transcending add up to the social liberties development of the mid-20th century. At the hour of his death in 1968, his total assets were humbly assessed at $250,000, subsequent to adapting to expansion, mirroring a daily existence devoted more to administration than privately invested money. Ruler procured an unassuming compensation as a clergyman and enhanced his pay through talking commitment and sovereignties from his works, which reverberated profoundly with crowds. Overall, his authority and key common freedoms drives enlivened, inescapable support, with monetary commitments pouring in from people and associations focused on the battle for racial equity. In 1964, he was granted the Nobel Harmony Prize, a lofty honor that accompanied a financial prize, further helping assets for his development while ruler's monetary abundance was restricted by his moral. Furthermore, social inheritance stays unfathomable. His getting through influence has been perceived with grants like the Official Award of Opportunity and the Legislative Gold Award, solidifying his place as one of the most powerful forerunners in American history. Martin Luther King Jr., one of the most extraordinary figures in American history, was brought into the world as Michael King Jr. on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. The second of 3 kids, he experienced childhood in a family well established in confidence and activism. His dad, Michael King Sr., later known as Martin Luther King Jr., was a Baptist clergyman and an intense social equality promoter. His mom, Alberta King, gave a supportive climate that stressed schooling and moral uprightness. Close by, his more seasoned sister, Christine, and more youthful sibling, Alfred, the youthful King, encountered the cruel realities of racial isolation and separation, which profoundly impacted his future way. Since the beginning, he has shown noteworthy keenness and a sharp consciousness of the shameful acts around him, molded by his dad's vocal resistance to isolation. By the age of 5, King had retained Psalms and Book of Scriptures stanzas, and his contribution in the congregation's kids' ensemble denoted the start of his association with the force of rhetoric. At age 12, King enlisted at Atlanta College's Research Center School, where he sought after music concentrates on learning piano and violin. Showing a sprouting feeling of obligation, he turned into a right-hand supervisor at a paper conveyance station. At 13, his secondary school years at Booker T. Washington Secondary School, the main dark secondary school in Atlanta, were set apart by scholarly and extracurricular accomplishments. Known for his expert articulation, he joined the discussion group, improving the rhetoric abilities that would later characterize his initiative. Ruler's advanced education venture started at Morris School, a generally dark establishment in Atlanta. He dealt with a tobacco ranch in Simsbury, Connecticut, to subsidize his investigations, acquiring first-hand openness to a less racially isolated society. His encounters in the North extended his comprehension of fundamental imbalance and energized his craving to battle it more. House King succeeded in social science, also chose to continue in his dad's strides by entering the service, concentrating on under the direction of Baptist Serv Benjamin Mays, graduating in 1948 with a B.A. in social science. He took his initial moves toward an existence of administration and activism after most King sought after philosophical examinations at Crower Philosophical Theological College in Pennsylvania, where he procured a B.A. in godlikeness in 1951. At Crower, he dove into the works of scholars and logicians, forming his faith in peaceful opposition as a strategy for social change. His scholar venture went on at Boston College, where he sought after a doctorate in deliberate religious philosophy, while filling in as an aid minister at 12th Baptist Church. In 1955, he finished his Ph.D., becoming Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., a title that represented his scholarly thoroughness and obligation to profound authority. Ruler's most memorable, significant trial of authority came in Montgomery, Alabama, where he became minister of Dexter Road Baptist Church in December 1955. He drove the Montgomery Transport Blacklist or Gent descent started by the captures of Claudette Colvin and Rosa Parks for declining to surrender their transport seats to white travelers. The multi-day blacklist aroused the social equality development, causing public to notice King's administration and the force of group activity regardless of confronting dangers. Capture and the besieging of his home, King remained ardent, prompting the milestone Browder v. Storm choice that announced transport isolation illegal. As a fellow benefactor of the Southern Christian Initiative gathering, SELC ruler assembled dark temples to battle for social liberties through peaceful means. The SCC played a focal job in significant missions, counting the Albany development and the Birmingham fights, which uncovered the fierce real factors of isolation to the country. These endeavors finished in the noteworthy 1963 Walk on Washington, where King conveyed his notorious "I Have a Fantasy" discourse from the means of the Lincoln commemoration. His strong call for racial equity resounded across the globe, cementing his place as the moral head of the social liberties. Development. By 1964, Ruler was granted the Nobel Harmony Prize for his immovable obligation to equity through peaceful opposition. His backing stretched out past racial uniformity, tending to more extensive issues like monetary imbalance, neediness, and the Vietnam War in 1965. Selma to Montgomery Walk, a vital turning point in the battle for casting ballot rights, featured the brutal obstruction looked by activists and the fortitude expected to continue in 1968. King and the Sent-Off Poor People individuals' mission to address fundamental neediness, joining different networks in a shared battle for monetary equity as he ventured to every part of the nation to fabricate poor. Ruler's vision of uniformity extended to incorporate all minimized bunches. Next, we should investigate his home at this point. The youth home in Atlanta, Georgia, the origination of Martin Luther Ruler Jr., situated on Coppery Road in Atlanta, Georgia, holds tremendous verifiable importance as the home where the common freedoms pioneer spent his early stages. This two-story sovereign-style house, built in 1895, stands as a focal point of the Martin Luther King Jr. Public Authentic Park. Following King's death in 1968, safeguarding endeavors started to re-establish the home to its unique state. During his experience growing up, the house was given to the King Place, and in 1974 it was formally added to the public register of memorable spots of the long haul. The encompassing region, which has been fastidiously kept up with to mirror its appearance during King's lifetime, was integrated into the extended public authentic park in 2018. Today, the site offers guests a strong look into the early existence of one of America's generally powerful figures and fills in as a demonstration of his persevering heritage. Deserted house in Memphis, Tennessee. Martin Luther King Jr. is said to have once possessed a home that numerous describe as a chateau in Tennessee. Regardless of its fabulous appearance and noteworthy importance, this house has an air of secrecy surrounding it. It remains hazy whether King at any point dwelled there. What's more, after his awkward death in 1968, the property was left deserted. The house, a quiet observer to history, now remains in a condition of significant decay. Time has negatively affected the structure, dissolving its glory bit by bit. The once flawless outside has blurred also. Indications of decay are apparent wherever nature has sneaked in through breaks and broken windows, further speeding up the rot. Venturing inside resembles entering a period case frozen in ruin. Just past the entry, a piano welcomes guests, its surface covered in a thick layer of residue. This instrument, probable a wellspring of bliss and music in its prime, presently sits as a spooky sign of the house's failed to remember life. The remainder of the inside recounts a comparative story of deserting and decline. The floors brook unfavorably underneath their surfaces, distorted and stripping. The walls, once lively with variety or backdrop, are currently stripped, uncovered in patches, uncovering the skeleton of the home. Over the roof is loaded with breaks, with segments taking steps to implode at any second as the house proceeds with its sluggish drop into insensibility. One can't resist the urge to ponder what stories it holds inside its walls. Also, how may it be saved? Its association with King's persevering inheritance, individual life. Martin Luther Ruler Jr., one of history's most extraordinary pioneers, had a profoundly private existence intertwined with his unprecedented public work. His excursion of adoration started during his examinations at Crower Religious Theological College. Thanks for watching this video.